What's happening, guys? So promises made, promises kept. I'm doing this video on 5 reasons why you are having a spiritual awakening. So the other day I did a video, I think it was 10 signs you might be having 10 unusual signs you might be having a spiritual awakening. I'm going to explain why with a couple things I have jotted down here. I would do this in the whiteboard, but the thing is, it's not that long. It's just a couple little notes that I need for this video to explain exactly how this is as to why you're having a spiritual awakening to begin with. Before I start this as well, I cannot wait till my Invisalign can come out, because it gives me a little bit of a lisp. I don't know if you guys can notice it, but sometimes it'll just, not all the times, a lot of the time I can sound like I don't have a lisp, but sometimes a word will slip off my tongue and it's kind of like a lisp because of these Invisalign. But anyways, there's something you have to know first of all when it comes to spiritual awakenings. These things happen, folks, in the first place because you were called for this to happen. A lot of people in life live in the same reality, in the same existence the entire time. Kind of how they were born, how they were brought up, and it kind of continues that way throughout their entire lives. But when it comes to yourself, you were put on earth to have a spiritual awakening. You were put on earth and you were called to a higher degree. So you had to go through a spiritual awakening in the first place. And bro, the thing is, some of us are just called for these things. It's not something we can help. I never thought life would happen the way it's happened. Like, I just didn't. I didn't see life panning out the way it has. Not that it's a bad thing. I just didn't expect things to happen the way they have. There's a lot of crazy events that have happened. There's a lot of painful things that has happened. There's also a lot of good things that has happened. And with that being said, I just didn't expect life to kind of go that way. So here's one reason out of 5. I have a couple more as well, actually, not just 5. Why you might be having a spiritual awakening. The very first thing here is because of a bad breakup. That can happen. Like, it was in our destiny to go through that. It was in our destiny to have that bad breakup that kind of woke us up spiritually. And I remember when this happened, bro, like, you're not the same. Like, it awakens the beast. It's a good thing, but you're not the same. Because a lot of people that live this kind of casual, just happy, giddy life, nothing's going on, nothing's changing, nothing's crazy. It's just a happy, giddy life for their entire lives until they get old. You're never going to reach your full potential living that life. And I'm not telling you to not live that life. You're just not going to reach your full potential. Some people don't care. But some of us are called to live a much higher existence rather than this just flat out life with no purpose kind of. It's whatever. And like I said, we all have different paths. We all have different reasons as to why we're here. But if you guys are having a spiritual awakening, these are some reasons why it's happening in the first place. The second thing, losing a job could be something that could help you have a spiritual awakening. It could be any of these things. It's a lot of traumatic events. It's very painful things will cause you to have a spiritual awakening because you kind of wake up. It just wakes you up. It wakes up the inner beast that's inside of you. It gets you up. It makes you see a reality for what it is rather than what we want to think it is. Like I said, I used to think reality was a certain way. We think life is sunshine and rainbows. We think people's never going to do us dirty. Things is never going to happen, and it's just not the truth. Things happen. So losing a job could be another reason as to why you're having a spiritual awakening. I bet a lot of nurses that did not get the vaccine had a spiritual awakening when they lost their jobs. I guarantee it. I guarantee they become more awakened to reality, how the world really is. how nothing's guaranteed. And it's kind of traumatic. Like they lose all that income. They lose their jobs. They can't provide. Things happen. Something else that can spark a spiritual awakening is moving to a different location. I know even that I'm living in the same area as I lived, just for me moving alone has given me a bit of a more of an awakening. And even in the spot I lived in before this one, when I lived up at home and moved to the spot I was in before this, I had a spiritual awakening there as well. So moving to different locations is going to help you have this awakening to life and reality for what it really is. Number 4, something else that can also happen is a car accident or something just tragic. A car accident, an automobile accident, a skidoo accident, 4-wheeler accident. Like scary things that get you up. Cutting your damn fingers off like I have. Like, I didn't cut them clean off, but it was close. Like this pinky finger and this ring finger on my right hand. When I was 18, I almost cut them clean off. Had to get immediate surgery, and it was insane. That was a spiritual experience, because it's near-death experiences. It's very painful things that happen. It kind of wakes us up, because sometimes you can just think you're the hot shit and nothing can go wrong and oh, life is going so good, and all of a sudden just boom. It can knock you right in your ass, and it wakes you up. It's like, wow. So if you go through enough hard things, it's just going to wake you up even more and more and more, and you start to become so solid, like in reality. And people wonder why we live so solidly in reality. It's because it's like your weak ass can keep living in a fantasy world, but here we are living in reality where the blessings are. They're in fantasy world. They're not wakened up. They're going to go through many more problems later on. We're highly awakened at a young age. Reality is going to hit everybody at some point. It's going to do it. For us, it happens a lot younger because we are called to a higher purpose. And this goes to number 5. Like I said, near-death experiences. Near-death. You might have almost drowned. You might have almost bled out from cutting your damn fingers off. You might have got caught on fire. I remember whenever we were younger, me and 2 of my first cousins, we went back to the woods. It was the stupidest thing ever. I was young. They were 3-4 years older than me at this time. We took gasoline. I didn't do this. They took gasoline. They knew what they were doing. I'm just a younger cousin with them, following each other around, doing some shit. Put sticks everywhere. They took gas, put it on this little fire, lit it. Everything's good. One of my cousins get close to it. The other pours gasoline right in the fire. When one of my cousins is standing right next to it, he lights up like a Christmas tree. His entire body's on fire. Me seeing this as a younger kid, bro, I was completely losing it. The guy that lit the fire, he knew he fucked up bad when my other cousin got lit on fire like a Christmas tree. He dropped down to the ground. He pretended smoke was getting in his lungs and he couldn't breathe and all this, and just made up this show. Because I thought he was going to die. I'm a young kid, and my first cousin is on fire. Like his whole body. Everything is on fire. He stripped his clothes completely off. He got on the ground, he started rolling around, and he managed to get it out. I took off running, bro. I'm a young kid. I took off running. I'm crying, screaming. I thought he was dead. Like, I thought he was going to die. There was no question in my mind. I thought he's gone. There's no way, because of how much fire there was. And it was crazy. So I took off running. There was a little path to my house through the woods. I take off running. Get to my house, tell my parents what happened, and they're freaking out. They call my cousin's place, and everyone's freaking out, and it was crazy. This guy, burnt a certain percentage of his flesh completely off his body, couldn't go to school for a while. And it was crazy. So it's experiences like this that kind of wake you up. That was just traumatic to me. That didn't even wake me up. That was just like, what the hell? But I bet you any money it woke them up. I was too young for anything like that to even happen. But I just remember seeing it and it was like, damn. So yeah, it's just like near-death experiences. It's things like that, bro, that's going to wake your ass up. Breakups as well. You get your heart broken, bro, that shit wakes you up. It's like, damn. You feel cold at first. You're icy cold, you feel cold. You got your shit snapped. And you feel every ounce of it. And it's like, this is reality. This is how it feels. Oh my goodness. There's a whole lot of gang shit going on right now. Oh my God. So it's strenuous things, bro, that's going to happen as to why you're going to have this awakening. And these things, it had to happen to me. I didn't see life that way, bro. I thought things were going to be easy. I thought I'm easily going to get the girl that I should have so easily. Things are going to happen. Everything is so much harder than I thought it was going to be. And that's the awakening. Like, it's not easy to get the right relationship partner in your life. It's easy to get just any girl. It's easy to get, like, the amount of opportunities I had, bro, but it's not that easy. That's the thing. And it's not even that some girls aren't worthy. It's just, there's something you feel. It's either there or it's not. Like, it's either there or it's not, bro. There's like, it has nothing to do with they're not even, it has nothing to do with they're not even good looking enough. It's just, because there were some good things that I could have taken up, but it's like, if that thing ain't there, then it's not there. It's not gonna, you just know it's not gonna work out. You just know that. You know there's something else with that, more of that spark, that's going to be worth the wait, that it's going to be better. So, yeah. I thought things were going to be easier than it is. I thought it'd be easier to deal with people than it is. Relationships, easier with friends. I thought people was going to be better. Like, bro, what reality is really what it is. These chicks are what they are today. These so-called friends are what they are today. People's what they are today. All this stuff is really as it is today. And when we go through these awakenings, thank God, we realize these things. We know these things. And there's a reason we're called for, bro, because some people live in that blue pill mindset their entire lives. Some people are in that forever. Like, they think their partners are something they're not, like, their whole lives. Like, it's crazy. They kind of live that reality, and a lot of the times things go bad for these people 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 down the road, and it's like, oh my God, they're 40 years old. I was married to a narc this whole time. Oh my God. Bro, thank God this stuff did not happen to me. Like, I faced things like that in my teen years. Not even in my 20s. In my teen years, I've experienced those things. I got awakened to what could have been a complete nightmare my whole life. Because some narcs, bro, will choose you and keep you for that long. I've done calls with these individuals. I was married to this person for 20, 25 years, and X, Y, and Z happen. I'm not saying too much, and I'm not going to say who, obviously, but bro, these things happen. Like, these things absolutely happen. And for whatever reason, they were called for that to happen. I was called for things to happen to me at such a young age, for reasons I still don't even fully know to this day, but I have good ideas. Things continue to make more sense as time goes on, but everything that happens to us happens for a reason. I had a very painful life. Like, things happen, bruh. Like, I've had many surgeries, countless amounts, dozens of surgeries, dozens. Bad breakups, drama with family, like negativity with family, like fallouts with friends, friends turn into haters, bitter rivals, like what is going on? Like, so many unfortunate things that a lot of people never even face. I know a lot of people that never even had one surgery. I know a lot of people that never got their heart broken once. I know a lot of people that has never even seen anything much traumatic. They might have got a scrape in their knee from a bicycle ride. They all accidentally fell off their bike. That's about it. It's like, I've had a very crazy life. Damn near cut my fingers right off. Burnt my hands on one of those old stoves that is hot as hell. When you, like, that stuff's not here today. This is a brand new place, modern, electric heat, electric everything. But like in the olden days, like when I was like a young infant, like 2-3 years old, walking around trying to learn how to walk, there's this wooden stove in my hand. I fall on it with my hands and they're bubbling over, and just crazy things, bro. Accidents, just a whole lot of crazy shit. I even put myself in painful positions, sparred very good people in gyms, rough sports, fights, all the dramas, the negativity, the haters, the backstabbings, the betrayals, the breakups, the heartbreak, like all this kind of stuff, bro. Like, people you don't want to lose and you lose them. All these things, bro, it wakes you up. It's either going to put you down and it's going to completely crush you, or it's going to wake you up to reality and you're going to get after it. It's going to be painful. It's going to be hard, but you still kick it going. You still keep it going. Because you were called for this. I know I was called for this. I'm obviously speaking about it right now. I just laid out everything. And there's more too. I can't even think. But there's a reason as to why all this happens. I also had my nose crushed in during the surgery a couple months ago. It's like, bro, there's a bigger reason than you could even think as to why we have these awakenings. There's a much bigger reason. And I kind of keep figuring out as I go. I was called to do what I do, and it's going to get much bigger. Things are going to get much bigger. It's going to be what it's going to be. And my life is crazy. My life is absolutely positively crazy. From the second I popped out of the womb till right now, it is crazy. My life story is crazy, bro. It's legitimately crazy, chaotic. And honestly, I wouldn't change it because it makes you into who you are. Like, that's the thing. But yeah, major life changes or traumas can cause spiritual awakenings to happen. And the reason it happens is because you're being called to something much higher than you or I or anyone can even think besides God. God knows best, so that's why we listen to God. At times, you might be tripping. At times, you might certain things, but for the longest time, bro, I've just been so on board with what I should be on board with. And that is God, and that is faith, and that is trust in what's happening. That is what it has to be. Like, bro, like I said, there's so many things that don't make sense. People don't make sense to me. Women don't make sense to me. Half the fellas around here don't make sense. Bro, people in general don't make sense to me. It just don't. It just really don't make much sense. I don't get how most people are the way they are. Like, I don't get it. And it's not just that, but that's an example. Like, There's so many things. There's just so many things that I don't get. And that's life. That's where you wake up and it's like, damn, it's this way. It really is this way. My conscious is on a completely different wavelength. There's not a lot of people that understand things to this deep of a level, bro. Most people couldn't even sit here beside me on this couch and even hear 5 seconds of the words I would say without just getting freaked out or like, oh my God, or something like this. Like, I live in this shit, bro. I live for the truth. I live for deeper stuff. Like, this is what it is. I'm very awake. A lot of people say, oh, everything's so good, until something happens and it just completely destroys them. Bro, we are ready. We are fighters. We are here. We are ready. Whatever happens, it's not a big deal. Bro, the amount of stuff I've been through, it's going to make everything in life so much easier. That's the thing, because we are stronger. These individuals, bro, the smallest things happen, and they can barely handle it. So when big things happen to these individuals, like just anybody out there, it crushes them. Something happens, a family member passes, it just crushes them. And I'm not sitting here saying you should be happy about it, but like, you should be able to continue to live your life. It's gonna make you feel some type of way, obviously. It's gonna hurt. But like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't want to get this wrong. His father passed away, and he didn't even go to his funeral. He went and competed. So regardless of what happens, you have to be able to continue to keep living your life. And it's not that you're just this heartless, selfish person. You feel, but you know how to carry yourself when it comes to things like, bro, even when my dog, when I was 18 or 19 passed, I almost couldn't even look at the dog. I had friends at my house. I remember we went to the gym that day and everything. I felt super sad, but like, I knew the dog's time was coming. I knew this was it. I knew this was the last time I'm seeing the dog. And I felt everything, but it's like I handled it the way you should. Because I'm not like, as an 18-year-old, I think I was almost 19, or maybe I was even 19. I'm not, oh my God, and sobbing and stuff like this. Like I felt sad, bro. I felt sad. I showered right before we went to the gym. And it was a long shower. I was thinking about it. I was holding back. I definitely felt sad. But I handled it the way I should have. Arnold Schwarzenegger got up, went to the gym, competed, did what he should have done, and he handled it the right way. A lot of people, bro, they get crushed, like legitimately crushed. They go into a bad depression. They stick at home. They can't even go to work. They can't do nothing. Like, that can't be you. Life goes on. People die. People we care about is going to die. And we have to continue going on. We're going to feel how we're going to feel about it, but we have to be strong enough to keep going. A lot of people in the world, they ain't. Things are going to happen, bro, and it's going to wake them up, and it's going to crush them. You're either going to let things crush you, or you're going to let it wake you up even more, and it's like, this is life. There's nothing we can do. So, if you guys have had a life anything similar to mine, you're probably being called to a much higher purpose than you can possibly even imagine in your mind. And time is going to tell. Time tells everything.